Let's see, where this come from?
That's my card. Spiritual life coach.
Keep that
My
on your
meditation and yoga.
I don't really know nothing about that. That's kind of like cave thing, meditating.
boogie. Don't always talk about spirits.
Spirit? I mean, I just kind of like, I just zone out. That's how I do it. Okay, okay.
Friend, what you want to go by tonight?
Thursday.
All right,
We promoted as Thursday. We gonna go ahead and do Thursday.
Okay, it's Thursday. Put your right hand up and your left hand on your word, wherever you decide your word is. All right, hold it just like that. Do you solemnly agree we have your permission to post this across all of our social media platforms?
I solemnly agree we have permission to post this across all of your social media platforms.
Is there anything, and I do mean anything that's off limits you don't want us to ask you about?
No, I want to see what y'all talk like. Let's go.
If we do ask you something that's off limits, do you understand? You can say no or move on.
Of course, the fifth is really pleading.
Okay.
We plead fifth all the time.
Well, let's get it.
Okay, my bad.
Get ready. Come on.
Okay, literally is no pressure. I'm your host, Bang on Bug.
It's your girl, Just K for real.
And we got a special guest. She already introduced herself, so tell everybody where you originally from.
Okay, so I am Thursday's Angel. I am from Cleveland, Ohio, by way of LA, and I'm in the A.
Hello.
Yay.
Welcome. How long you been here?
I've been here about 6 months.
Oh. What made you leave?
Well, I left Cleveland to go to LA initially, and I was, just as an artist, I felt like that would be a good place for me to kind of tap in and explore some of my creativity. But when I got to LA, I more so went deeper into my spirituality. So it was a cleansing process. And then a girlfriend of mine was like, "Hey, I'm moving to Atlanta." And she was like, "You come check it out." And she was telling me about the opportunities they had here. And I was like, "Okay, let me come check out and see what Atlanta has going on." And it's been amazing.
Oh, good.
It's so beautiful how things have played out for me.
So what's the opportunity you got by moving?
So one opportunity, I was able to be on the Marvel set for 2 weeks. I've been able to do some poetry showcases. I've been able to meet some great people, just on the spiritual tip too. Just some amazing people. Been able to do some mentorship and working with some children.
So you married or got kids?
I am happily divorced.
What?
Happily. So you happy that you got away from them?
I wouldn't necessarily say got away. I think that, our time spent together was over with. I think every person in your life serves a purpose. And the purpose that we had was completed. Mission accomplished.
What was the purpose?
Have a child and to experience that connection of sharing your life with someone. And I think he was my training wheel marriage.
Kay brought up something. It's like if you get married, like the second one wouldn't be ordained by God. You don't believe that? Because you're supposed to stay married.
And who said that?
The Bible.
Yeah.
Oh, the Bible said that.
The Bible.
So what does the Bible constitute as marriage?
A man and a woman, and who he's asked her parent for permission, and they just tell God that.
What book of the Bible?
I would have to look it up.
So from my understanding.
Oh, and they gotta agree to have a kid.
So from my understanding, when you consummate the relationship as far as sexual intercourse, that is a marriage, right?
Basically under God. Yeah.
So how many times have people been married and stayed together under the law of consummating the marriage? How many
People
times
doing it wrong.
How many times have you been married?
People doing it wrong.
How many times have you been married? So remember the lady at the well, he said, "Go home." He said, "You have many husbands." Remember he told her that?
Which one?
Kay know the Bible wrong.
Okay. So it was the lady at the well, and I don't remember the story in deep detail, but he told her, he said, she's been married. He said, "Go home." He said, "Go home. You've been married many a times." And she was looking like, "What?" I probably have to Google it, but
I think you're talking about when Abraham had a baby mother.
it's something. He told her, he said, "Go home." I don't think it was Abraham, but he told her to go home because she had been married many times because she had slept with many men. But so I guess I kind of derailed the conversation with that. But I go by, you know, the connections. You know, that connection was over with. It had served its purpose. And whether, you know, they said death do us part, and sometimes death does not look like 6 feet underground. That consummation of that relationship was dead, and so that part was due.
So you like, I guess, did it die on your end first or his end?
I think it was mutual. I think that it was a mutual death. We talked about it before we actually got a divorce. We knew that it was dwindling. We knew it was time to kind of separate.
So I mean, I know usually like women, they have somebody set up already before they leave. So is that kind of how you was?
No, I never cheated on my husband. I was faithful. I thought about it, but I mean, at that time, I was really into religion. I was transitioning more into what we call spirituality, which even that word to me is kind of cliche now. But at the point, yeah, I was really into religion, and I was so afraid. I was like, I know if I cheat, I'm gonna be on the way trying to get me some, and I'm gonna get into a car accident, and I'm going straight to hell. Like I just knew that was like I'm not gonna, because think about it. We had talked about divorce. I wasn't happy, you know, but I would have never ever left. You know what I mean? But he wasn't happy either. We just realized that we were two different people than what we thought we were marrying. But no, I never had any infidelities or anything with my husband, ex-husband. Even after we divorced or separated, I wore my ring for 6 months afterwards. I was kind of like, I guess, talking to an old college friend, but I didn't even. Why what?
You kept the ring on.
I think I didn't really. It took a while for me to really grasp the idea that the marriage was ending. You know what I mean? I was so. I guess you have this ring on your finger. We were married for about 4 years. We didn't make it to 5. And it's just like, it was hard. I didn't want to just be like, because honestly, I was 10 toes down. Like you said, I was, about to end this. But when it got to the point where you can't keep accepting someone not accepting you, you know what I mean? And we should have gotten a divorce. Like that was the best thing. And so as I pivot into, because I know this interview is, time limited, but I want to pivot into the energy that I really want to focus on. I got more back into my arts. I got more back into poetry after we separated. I got more back into my purpose of who I was ordained to be. So we also know that when we want to talk about Bible, even though I am spiritual, my foundation in the connection to the Most High is from Christianity. And I believe that was purpose driven. But we understand that when Jacob, was that Jacob or Job? I ain't good with the names.
I'm not either, so.
But Esau's brother. It's Esau's brother. His name is what? Jacob or Job? Jacob. So remember, Jacob went off and he wanted to marry this woman, but the father son said, "You can't have my daughter. You're gonna have her first." So that was his training wheel wife, right? That was my training wheel husband.
So would you do it again?
Of course. I love the idea of being with someone for the rest of my life. Would I do it in the form of the United States government going down, whatever? No, we're gonna get a power of attorney. Whatever, we gonna do whatever. I don't know if I'm gonna say I don't know at this moment, but I love the idea of spending the rest of my life with somebody.
Yeah. Okay, so did you grow up?
I don't know why he laughing at me.
I was just kidding. So did you grow up both of your parents?
Well, my dad got deported when I was younger, so no, I did not grow up with my parents.
You said they got divorced?
Deported, yeah.
Oh, what? From where?
He got deported back to Nigeria. Yeah, so yeah.
So you don't know him?
My dad, yeah, we ended up reconnecting back again because of social media. I'd never changed my name when I got married, so my last name being Nagali, it allowed me to reconnect with my father, and so we reconnected in 2013, and then after that, shortly after we were, reconnecting, getting to know each other and everything, went through this divorce and this custody battle. And in the midst of going through that, and then he passed away in 2020. So that was extremely disheartening for me, being that, I had this prayer since I was like 5 years old, like, God, let me reconnect back with my dad, finally get a chance to reconnect back with him, and then have these hiccups happen in life, and never got a chance to, in the physical form, right? never got a chance to experience that connection, that bond. But one thing that taught me after he passed away, and it took me a while through this journey that I had to realize that, because one thing my father would say when we would talk on the phone, he would say, out of sight but never out of mind. You know what I mean? And so through that, it's like, you know what, his presence, his energy, his spiritual energy is always here. And so he's introduced himself to me several times. Even when he was alive, he's constantly introduced himself to me. So I think that disheartening feeling has dissipated.
Okay, so do you feel like, you know, they say men raise children better, like, would you, well, I mean, would you prefer him just to take the child, or like what was going on? You just wanted the child full time, or
Who?
you and your husband?
What do you mean? I didn't say anything about.
Oh, you ain't got no kids?
Yeah, but I didn't say anything about him taking the child.
I'm saying.
You saying, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to keep your
I
child?
thought you said y'all had a custody battle.
Yeah, we did. Okay, so I didn't go into detail about that. I think that two parents raised a child really well. I don't think that a man raises a child better or a woman raises a child better.
They said statistic as far as like people going to jail, like more people like who go. I mean, it's like the same. Like for men, it's like basically having like two parents, but it's like worse when it's just a mom. As far as like people going to jail and stuff like that.
I think that if we're gonna talk about the Most High, He creates a mother for the mothers and a father for the fatherless. So if a situation happens where that parent can't be there, there are people, places, and they're going to step in always to guide you. But as far as one being better, that's just, I don't want to go on statistics and all these variables that, you know, people like to create these certain stigmatisms and stereotypes to divide us, and I'm not going there. But in general, I feel like a man and a woman, you need a man and a woman. And now sometimes you can have a solid man, that solid man can do an amazing job by himself, and sometimes you can have a solid woman. I don't feel like it's better or worse. My cousin, which my best friend passed away in 2011, and he raised his children by himself. He's raising his children by himself. He's doing an amazing job. You know what I mean? So I don't think that it's man or woman. I think it's human-based. What human being, based upon their upbringing, their mental stability, and the way they handle that child, is the best parent for that child, if it is to be a child by itself.
When our feelings.
That's what it's all about. Energy,
Yeah.
feelings, emotions, love. Let there be life, love, energy, connection. That's what we are at its simplest form.
Okay, a moment you felt and said this isn't me anymore.
Ooh. The most recent moment was February 2020, February 19, 2020. I walked into HR at my job at Kaufman Containers that I had been working at for 3 years in marketing. And I told them this job no longer serves me anymore, and walked out. Walked in HR and told you this job is not meant for me. And that's what I went for, fully on this faith and understanding of just my passions, my dream, and my purpose. Yeah.
That's what you said to your husband?
I walked in HR and told them this job no longer serves me anymore.
No, I said, did you say that to your husband like that too? Like,
Oh no, it was a series of conversations to my ex, as far as what wasn't working, but no, like I said, that was an interesting disconnect, because like we had talked about not being together, and then how it ended up happening with us separating.
She also mentioned that she didn't want to end it.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't happy, but I didn't want to end the marriage. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to end the marriage, but I'm happy that it happened, because it allowed me to be my true, authentic self. And I think that's what, you know, there are certain things there are certain things that, and I know that you don't talk from a spiritual standpoint, but that's the foundation of who I am. So I have to speak from that standpoint in order to give you guys the real meaning of who I am. But I believe that, you know, man's rejection is always God's protection. And so
Amen.
it wasn't up for me to ordain whether it was to be done or not. In order for me to move in my purpose, that had to be ended. And I understand that now. I understand that. I'm so far removed. We got divorced in 2017. So I'm really far removed from as far as like, oh, you know, that wasn't a big deal, or I shouldn't have. Like it really came full circle when we had a conversation this spring break about his tutoring, and how it was just no conflict. It was just like, whoa, you know, and that came with me humbling myself. It took a lot of humility of me holding myself and constantly showing up as myself, regardless of the things that was happening to me and the things I was experiencing. I had to show up as myself, as pure love and light consistently. And it was very difficult. And I'm not saying I always passed 100%. But it's just like, okay, no matter what, don't let other people change you. Because when other people change who you are, they become your master.
So you really feel like you can show up as yourself, like when you moving around in like the industry as far as like entertainment?
Of course.
Cause you know, you hear like rappers and stuff like basically say you have to be fake to kind of like get to where you going.
If they believe that, then they gonna be fake. Real recognize real. I can't be nothing but me. If you fake, you gonna be fake. If you're a fake person, you're not acting fake. If they say they acting fake, no baby, you're fake. You can't act fake. You fake. When you real, you gonna be real. And so I've always had the mentality, and anyone who's known me I've always had the mentality like, listen, love me, like me, or leave me alone, and I'm okay with that because there's always an audience who's gonna accept who you are.
Hello.
And any artist who has longevity, they don't change who they are. The one thing I love Outkast, I love Andre 3000, and every time they always want to put them in the box. They're this type of rapper. They're a conscious rapper. They're like, no, I'm gonna show up by myself, and I don't feel like they've ever been fake, but they've always been real. They've always been themselves, and that's why they had longevity. That's why they had people that really, really grasp their music. Jay-Z the same way. I mean, people, you can say what you want about it, but I don't feel like he's ever been fake. I feel like he's always been consistently himself, and he has longevity. When you're trying to be like somebody else, yeah, you're gonna be popular for that moment. You're gonna follow that trend, that fad, but you're not gonna have longevity.
Okay, so if you have a relationship with somebody in the industry and they do like deals and stuff behind your back, you feel like that's fake?
I feel like that's bad business.
But that's not.
No, because that's them. You a bad business person, and I don't want to do business with you again. I've had that problem with people in the industry on a upcoming level, where I've seen people do things in front of my face, and I see you, but guess what? We won't work together again because you show me who you are. Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, what?
Believe them.
God said that in a Maya Angelou voice. My fellow Aries poet, I love her to life.
Yes.
Maya Angelou.
Okay, it's a quote that says, close the window that hurts you no matter how beautiful the view is. So something that looks or feels good, but it's no good for you.
Oh, yes. That's the truth.
What's an example? She said, ain't that the truth?
Let me get these 2 chuckles out because I gotta let y'all.
Okay, it's a
Because, but that's, man, in dating. Because sometimes they be looking good, honey. They just be looking like the whole 666, but you know what that is. 6 figures, 6 feet, and 6 pack, right? You heard about it.
Well, they say it's 6 is for something else.
What is that? What is the 6 for?
Oh, never mind.
Fill me in. I don't want to quote it wrong. But, it can look good, but if everything look good ain't good for you, right?
Not supposed to be 6 figures, 6 feet, and 6 inches of dick at least. That's what I heard. That's what
Six
I
I
said.
never heard the phrase.
Yeah, so the first time I heard it, I was actually at Cat's Cafe. I was doing a poetry event there, and one of the poets had did a poem about a high quality man, and she said it. And a friend of mine said it again. I'm like, oh, this must really be a thing.
Yeah, I know. Y'all teaching me stuff.
Yeah, so but that's it. Just any man, a lot of men look good, from the window. But baby, when you get to open that thing up, it look good, but them aromas come out of there don't smell too nice. You gotta close the window, you get funky in. Taint your whole house with a funky environment on the outside, but it look good. The skunk been sprayed the funk.
So as far as me, I don't really meet a lot of good women. So do you surround yourself with good women, or do you feel like it's far in between?
I'm a loner.
I feel like most good women don't have a lot of friends.
Yeah, I'm a loner, and it wasn't always like that. As I'm coming more into accepting who I am unapologetically, and really finding out who I am, it happened like that. I mean, I have people that I will call my long lifetime friends that I've been friends for a while, but it's just we don't speak like that. I mean, if we really want to say what like, and not because anything happened. It's just I'm really literally just
in your own space.
in my own space. Yeah.
At peace for real.
Then that's the
For real.
whole one too. Like 100% that, and I think that's what. And I want to say that's what Cali did for me. It was a conglomerate of things that led up to that, but I feel like Cali was the catalyst of it. 2020 happening, when everything shut down, that's when I really started going really deep into yoga, meditation, and really tapping into my inner being, my inner self, and disconnected from what we see on the outside world. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people is that they're searching for peace outside of themselves. They're searching for peace with things, people, places, and things. And you're never going to find peace with people, places, and things. You're going to have to go within and really quiet yourself and quiet that space. And that takes nothing at all. And that's the hardest thing in the world to realize. I need nothing at all to find peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they kind of used to throw me off when
Yeah.
people like when they looking for mayors, they say I'm looking for peace, but why are you? You should already have it.
If you don't have peace, don't come to me. If you're looking for peace, keep looking.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just like this, and this is when I talk about relationships. You know, when you're a whole person, right? If I'm a whole person, why would I be looking for my better half?
Exactly.
Right? So if I'm a whole person, I'm a full circle. I'm a full circle. And then I find this other person is a full circle. And our two full circles come together, what's that making? Infinity. That's how you find infinity. But if I'm half, and I'm looking for another half, we going in circles. Dun, dun, dun. Around and around we go.
What song is that?
Yeah. You don't know that
You
song?
know, I remixed it.
You don't know the old
But
school
it got me
song?
going in circles. Bum, bum, bum.
I don't know.
Oh God! We gotta get you in some places. That's old
Yeah.
people. That's a grown
But
folk
yeah,
music.
yeah, grown.
That's grown folk.
But I feel like you have to say. But the problem is, you know, everyone's so quick to find that because we are programmed through music, through TV, through everything else to like we are not complete unless we have somebody.
I mean, it's just like it's more fun with somebody.
And it definitely is more fun with somebody, but let it be fun with somebody under a healthy situation. There's a lot of toxic situations out here, and toxicity is being promoted. I mean, we look at Christina Rock and Blueface. That they are popular for being toxic, for having a toxic relationship. And in the melanated community, that persona of a relationship is really being promoted right now. Because there's something so amazing about melanated love. You know what I mean? Because it is beautiful and it's fun. And it's, like I said, I want that. I want to have that consistently. You know, but I'm not going to settle.
And you have it within yourself, so that's what makes it even more difficult. Like, I'm totally fine being right here. In here. So you gotta come with something different to come be right here with me.
Yeah.
Like,
And then when you find that person, once you find yourself, you're not as clingy. You're not like, oh, where you go, boo? Where you go, back? You know, you can just still be you. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying, I think this the way that we are promoted to be couples these days is just so toxic. I'm not saying it's, I mean, yeah, back in the day, you find your high school sweetheart, you be with your high school sweetheart all your life. That's why grandpa, great-grandpa was married for 50, 60, 70 years. We in a different era. We in a different era. We got social media. We got everybody and everybody business about relationship. Nobody's happy, but nobody wants anybody else to be happy. So anytime I tell people, I said, if you're in a relationship, don't tell nobody about it for 3 months.
I'm telling you.
Act like it's a birth. Because people are so unhappy and unhappy people don't want other people to be happy. And so they like, oh girl, you better. I remember a relationship I got into right after my marriage. And first thing one of my coworkers was like, girl, I don't want you to think he a gem. And he ain't did nothing yet, but she wanted to work. I said, what he do? I just don't want you to think he all that. Well, why? You know, why can't, you know, I believe that there are people who literally walking around here peaceful, happy, and quiet as hell. That's the problem.
That's what J. Cole said, though. He was like, as far as your goals and your dreams, he was like, dream big, like the furthest you can see yourself and see it as if it's really real. And as soon as you get to the peak of what you can see, look even past it, get delusional with it.
Yeah.
But hold it and keep it safe. And he said the way he kept it safe was telling nobody.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't even want my mom to have the ability to bring me back to reality.
I agree. And that's why even guys, when you guys asked me about like some of the opportunities I had in Atlanta, I was kind of hesitant because it's kind of like when you're moving into purpose, it's like everybody want to know what you doing. And I'm like, if I tell y'all what I'm doing right now, when it's at the beginning level, it's so much. But then I had to realize, you know what? Well, I create my own reality, but still, I have to protect what I have going on. I have to protect some of the things because people will just, you know, people to even follow your dream at any age is a rarity. You know, everybody is just so conformed to do what they're taught to do. We're taught to act like adults. We're taught how to act. We act like adults. We act like adults. And we do what we think we're supposed to do that looks like success. Mm-hmm. So to do anything outside of that, to get what you really truly love to do, is gonna rattle some feathers. Mm-hmm. When I left Cleveland to go to California, my whole family was like, "Oh my God, you're with it! Oh my goodness!" It was. They were like, and I'm like, "Okay, can y'all calm down?" Like, it's not that serious. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm the same type of person that would jump out of the plane and have jumped out of the plane. You know what I mean? Because it's just like when it's time for me to move to do something, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. But yeah, like you said, I don't say people say sky's the limit. I said sky is the beginning.
Yeah, for sure.
Sky is the beginning of what you can do and what you're able to do, and there's no time limit.
Exactly.
There is no, and I think the biggest curse that we put upon each other is making people feel like there's a time limit to achieve your goals. And the biggest, you know, one of the most unfortunate things we do to the youth is making them think that they have to be and acquire certain things by the time they get to like 30. Mm-hmm. You out your mama house by 18, right? Mm-hmm. So your whole life has been dictated to you for what you eat, what you listen to, how you dress by your parents. You don't really come into who you really are as far as exploring the world on your own until about 25 years old. So you mean to tell me by the time, you know, I got about 8 years to figure this out, to get it all together outside my mother's house to be no. No, and I think that again, there are a lot of things that are structured to stop people from being great, because there are a lot of people who are afraid that if everyone's great, they won't be great anymore.
Yeah, I relate that to the bread aisle. Like, look at the bread aisles, man. People making bread off of bread.
Come on.
So many people making bread off of bread.
Let's make bread on bread.
Yes. I'm a poet, you a poet.
You a poet, like,
let's talk.
But that's the thing. There's a difference between competition and creation. Creation never competes. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna go back to God, because that's what it's all about, the Most High, right? Mm-hmm. So I had an epiphany the other day, because I'm always writing. I'm always just, got thoughts coming in my head. And I was like, only man makes things perfect. Mm-hmm. When man creates something that's manufactured, everything looks exactly alike. When God creates things, He is so perfectly imperfected that everything is completely different. Even twins don't look alike. So it's just like when you are in your zone of creating, you're not looking to see, is this person doing this or whatever. You on your path and you are driven and you are focused and you are in the spirit of creating your destiny, creating your art. So it's like, I'm in my own lane.
And everything ain't for everybody.
And everything ain't for everybody. And I'm not looking to see what everybody else is doing. And I'm not looking to see what everybody else is achieving, because I understand my destiny and I understand my purpose and I understand what I'm here for. I was ordained to be here in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. It ain't no mistake.
But that's a high level of thinking that a lot of people gotta get to. I'll try to push down here. I'll be like, who cares? Who cares? Do it.
The level of fucks given.
0. Don't care.
And I think people think that don't care mean be mean.
Yeah. It's like, no.
That don't mean mean.
Love yourself. Like,
period.
Love yourself and everything you got going on more than what somebody else has to say about what you got going on. Just do what you want. And once you did it, even if it ain't work out, it's done already. You did it.
But guess what? It always works out.
Exactly.
Because everything is a learning lesson.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When you always say this, I said, when a 1-year-old's getting ready to walk and they fall, No one says, you know what, 1-year-old, you need to quit. You done got up 5 times today and you done fail. Give it a rest. They say, no, good job, keep trying. And then once the 1-year-old learns how to walk, it's a celebration. Every time you take on a new endeavor, you're learning how to walk again. Anything you learn how to do, because you're learning.
Exactly.
In order to learn, you're going to have to
Mess up. Miss Rose said take chances and make mistakes.
Fall forward. So it's just like we get so subconscious on, oh, I don't want to fail, I don't want to mess up, I don't want to mess up, fall. That's like I said, I think that's when I jumped out of that plane and was like, listen. And I think the biggest lesson I learned was the guy said, we gonna jump on 3. He was on my back, I was on his back, or I don't remember. He said 1, 2, it wasn't no 3. You don't wait for 3 in life. Because if you wait for 3, you're gonna think about it and you're probably not gonna do it. That's that mental mind. That's how you get past that mental conversation of doubt. And just go ahead and move forward and do it. So, at this point, I'm just on the precipice of greatness. I claim it, I receive it, and I'm so grateful for just the confidence that I have. The confidence of, just knowing who I am. I am who I am.
So if you had to choose, would you choose like your soulmate guy or like having a successful career?
I don't have to choose. Well, I don't have to choose.
I mean, there's so many people end up with one or the other.
If I had to choose between my soulmate guy and my career, I don't think I would have to. I know that sounds asinine, but I feel like my soulmate guy will push me to do my career. You understand what I'm saying? Like my soulmate, if he's truly my soulmate, he know my soul is my art. That's part of me. My soulmate would never ask me not to be me. My soulmate there would never be a point where I would have to choose between the man that loves me. Because to love me is to love my art. I am my art. I've always been my art. From the time I've been an artist from the time I was 5. I wrote my first book when I was 8 years old called Isabel's New Bride. I got suspended in kindergarten for dancing on top of the table, dancing Michael Jackson. I've always been an entertainer. So it's like, for me to even say, to pick between my soulmate and my career is like, that ain't my soulmate.
I'm just, so I mean, older women, they kind of be by themselves, like, and they seem like career driven. So,
what's an older woman to you?
Like in her 50s. With a big house and kids that's grown.
Okay. You know why?
She probably ain't met her soulmate.
She ain't met her soulmate. She ain't met herself yet either. Just because you're 50 don't mean you know yourself.
So is she happy with what she got?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think the thing is that a lot of people think that you gotta choose. And anything you believe, you conceive. So if you really feel like you gotta choose, then guess what you gotta choose?
Okay. A moment you value now that's a memory.
Oh, there's so many. I'm trying to just pick like one moment that I value, like any particular moment that I value that's a memory. Because every moment is a memory. Every moment I value every moment. I really do. This moment with you, talking with you guys, I value this and it will be a memory. I'm so grateful for the present moment to be able to experience life in physical form.
What about you, Kay?
A memory that I value?
Yeah.
Mine is like current at the same time, but recently I was on the phone with my grandma and she was like, yeah, I still got my grandma, you go to her house, I show everybody her, I be like, watch this. It's mad pictures of me everywhere, and in her closet is like a bunch of pictures of me, and it's like a shrine. I'm like, that's grandma prayers. Yeah. Like my grandma protected me through a lot of stuff. So she was like, yeah, girl, I still got these cards that you made me, and da 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 da. And I started crying because I felt like, dang, like that's gonna be a memory at some point too. whether we don't know how life gonna work out. It could be her remembering talking to me remembering talking to her, but like that triggered me. I'm like, dang. But I know she has these things, and she keep everything for all her great nieces and everybody, all the younger kids that's going to prom and stuff. She could tell you everything that Boo Boo and them is doing, who they going to, what they like, everything everybody got going on. She into it. So that moment, just talking to her and listening to her tell me made me cry. I'm like, I love you, girl. But I tell her like she the reason why I'm always crying now, because she always crying, but now I get it. She be crying. You be like, Grandma? She be like, no. She be playing it all, but she not crying. But I know she be talking to God and like feeling her blessings of her family. Yes. She really proud to be who she is in her family.
I think women who know about stuff like that, they would say family over career. Because it's like all those stuff like that, you don't even hear stuff like that. So it's just all they know is career, but they don't think about all that stuff that.
My grandma retired from Department of Health and Human Services. She not with no one person. She never been married.
She just, and I think people don't understand that you can have that where you just, it's some women who never married, but they date multiple guys, and it don't have to stop because you're 50. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think people think that you don't understand, like, dating don't mean you having sex with everybody. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You could date multiple guys, get to know multiple guys, and a free spirit. Yeah, just to know people. I date.
She's like, y'all. I'm cracking up.
I'm single, y'all. Listen, everybody.
Please let me in here like, where's the niggas? Where's the niggas?
For real. Listen, you are hilarious. I definitely ain't like where the niggas at, but because I don't want no parts of the niggas.
Okay, where the kings at? That's what they want.
I don't want them kings.
They want them grand rising kings.
I don't want them either.
Who you want?
You want some girls?
I want a man. Okay. I want a man who understands who he is on as far as just who he is, encompassed inside and out. I want, listen, and I'm a I want somebody who understands that he's a co-creator, that he's a God. I'm not saying that he's the God, but I understand he's a God, because a king is somebody that's a ruler of things. A God is somebody who knows how to rule himself.
Okay, I like that.
That's the difference.
I like that.
You know what I mean? I don't want nobody who's fighting for the throne. I want somebody who realizes they own the whole everything. Mm-hmm. They don't got to fight for the throne. But no, it's just, I'm single, and I'm attractive, so because me being attractive, I attract people. So, if I'm not a mean girl. So if a guy, if I feel like he's worth, I might have a conversation, let me just, because I'm not opposed to going out or whatever, but I'm not like, where the niggas at? Where the man at? Where the hot one? Nah, because I'm not just, but it's like, okay, this might be the person that, so how do you get to know someone? So I do open up the door to get to know someone, but it hasn't been anyone that's concrete that has made an impression on me to go into depths of it. But yeah, I enjoy dating. I really do. And not because, I'm trying to go and get somebody to give me some sustenance. No. But I told a guy, he was a chef, I met him in a grocery store. I was buying a bottle of wine, and he's like, you should get this champagne. He was trying to show me that he knew what champagne was, and he was a chef. And he's like, let's go on a dinner date. And I was like, let's have a phone competition first. I want to pre-screen you. Mm-hmm. I don't even want to break bread with you if I don't feel like we have any type of chemistry or connection. I don't want to eat with you, and I don't even like your company. I don't go on dates just to say, I got him. He took me to, this fancy restaurant. I got no. You're wasting my time. You know what I mean? So I do enjoy getting to know people, and so it's been interesting, that journey.
How many dates you been on? Like, how many different guys?
That's a good question. When you say how many dates have I been on, within like what time frame?
Since you've been in Georgia.
I'm crying.
It must be like 30.
Okay, she dating. She having a lot of fun conversations, y'all. She pre-screening daily.
So what's considered a date?
You just said what the date was.
The phone conversation is the date?
No, the breaking bread is the date, I guess, because you screened them on the phone.
So we all have a break. I've been on some great hikes. I really enjoy that. I've been able to go to Stone Mountain. That was nice. Yeah, there's some interesting things.
30,
No, it's not in the 30s.
15.
Probably 10.
And none of them
Different
wouldn't.
people? And why they all fail? Like overall, pregnancies.
First of all, can y'all stop sending pictures of y'all genitalia?
Right.
Unsolicited.
Nobody want to see that.
I don't want to see it. And
All of 10 of them did that?
a lot, 3 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
That is so lame.
And you immediately just cut off.
Yeah.
Just that unsolicitedness. Like I literally was on a date with a guy, and we're sitting at the table, and as I'm drinking my wine, and I don't really drink like that, but I'm a social drinker. But I drink my wine. He sends me a picture. I'm like, what? I said, I didn't ask you for that. Immediately, I had to leave the table. The date was over with. Like there's not like you.
What did he say?
He just was like, "Oh, it's no big deal. It's just a random picture." I said, "So for the fact that you send me a picture that you have in your phone, you send it to everybody.
Right.
This ain't even special. Because if I don't want to see that worm. There's nothing attractive about a man's genitals to me unless I'm interacting with it. Once I have a connection to it, then I'm like, oh yeah, baby, show it to me, because we didn't already went there. But my thing is, first of all, it's levels to it. It's not like I'm trying. If we can't even talk and have if you can't stimulate my mind, you damn can't stimulate my body. I'm a sexual sapio. So it's like, that's the whole reason why I'm like, let's have a conversation. Can you stimulate me mentally? And like I said, because I'm attractive, yeah, I don't mind sitting down having a conversation. But if you dumb, I don't do dumb dick. So if you dumb, you can have money, but if you don't have no intelligence, you can have money, but you don't have no sense of humor. You can have you could be a gorgeous, but you it's just so many different attributes that go into it. I'm just like, yeah.
It's men don't require all this stuff. You gotta be like, you know what I'm saying?
Me and my best friend just had this conversation when I pulled up here, and it was like, the worst men be having the bomb dick, okay? Because I didn't know how to censor that. But the worst, he probably sleeping on a mattress on the floor in somebody's kitchen or something like. What?
Cause he get to work. Chris Rock got a joke like he get to work on this stroke and all day. You get what I'm saying?
I think also, like they don't have to have goals, because that's the backup plan. Like if all else fails, I can find a female that's gonna let me stay with her or drive her car and stuff, because this is fire. But I know a bunch of dudes like that. But we was talking about like the top tier ones. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't had that experience, but
Girl,
I think, man, you guys do have that requirement. You guys just frame it differently. So my thing is this: you get with a female, usually you guys go off aesthetics. She looks beautiful. She got whatever attracts you, right?
We go for regular girls. Like you don't necessarily have to be like this damn bad motherfucker.
No, but you are attracted. There's something that attracts you to that individual. There has to be something. No, y'all not just dating. If that's the case, y'all can go ahead and date a mannequin, right?
No, I'm saying they don't have to be spectacular, like.
And I'm not saying they have to be spectacular either, but I want some intelligence. You sure I'm saying? I do not want to date a mannequin. I do not want to date an idiot. I do not want to date somebody who has a mentality like a child. I'm not saying you got to be perfect, because I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? For me, I say when you find a high quality man and a high quality woman, it's two people who genuinely love each other for who they are. That makes it high quality, because you get two people who love each other for genuinely who they are, they're gonna make each other high quality.
But I know some women too. Like I remember my sister was telling me about how like some of her friends, they get married and they might feel like they man kind of slow, but he hard working.
Yeah.
He just ain't the smartest nigga. So sometimes a woman can be like that. It's kind of alpha, but she kind of runs shit. But she can deal with somebody who ain't this super intelligent. But he do what he do as a man. You get what I'm saying?
So I think there's different levels of intelligence. So I dated a guy who, and he wasn't stupid, but he wasn't intellectual on as far as like what it looks like on paper to be intellectual. But as far as other things, he was pretty much a philosopher. So I think, you have to know what you like. If for her, if having an intellectual conversation is not something to her that it's getting, that's for her. But for me, I need to be able to, let's talk. Cause I like to talk. I want to know that. I want to go deep. I'm a deep person.
You talk to your friends though.
Well, I just said I don't really have that many female friends.
And if you want to be with somebody forever, you don't want to have to. That's how some people end up cheating. Because I couldn't even talk to you about this thing, and now you got to go to somebody else. Why I gotta outsource if you want to be with me forever?
Cause you talk to your friends anyway. You get what I'm saying?
But what if I want to talk? We together more than me and my friends together. I'm not saying. I mean, I think that you have different people for different things.
That's true.
You definitely.
And I shouldn't say that because I do got my friends. This is my friends that I haven't talked to for a while. I'm gonna need y'all not to get sensitive, but y'all know we ain't talked.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not act like fat meat ain't greasy. But I love y'all. But anyway, no, I just feel like I'm not saying a person has to be perfect, but you need to know what you want. And I think no one should have to settle. Whether if a woman says I need a guy, I like a guy that has a lot of money. He don't gotta be that smart. He ain't gotta be that funny. He can be mean as hell, but I want money. Then that's for her. I don't want that. I don't care how much money you got.
But guys settle for women who got kids. Guys really
Is that a settle?
Yeah, it's a settle.
It depends on the
really
man.
Guys don't want a woman with kids. It's like you settle for that.
And a woman
It
don't
depends
want
on the man though.
It's not dependent.
Somebody who
Unless
really
you're a
don't want it, not
pedophile or
gonna
something, he
go
want
for
to
it.
be around kids. Men don't want to deal with nobody else's kids. Like,
What if a man can have kids? Then he would probably want to be with somebody that got some so he could have kids.
I mean, most men can have
For the
kids. I mean, you
moment.
saying that,
I
but most
think
men
that's.
can
I
have
think
kids.
you know, and this.
What? I've dated somebody who couldn't have kids.
That's rare case. You know that
You
is.
don't. I don't know how rare
that
that
is
is.
about this, but it actually it's 50-50 as far as the amount of men and women who can't have kids. Because both reproduction organs, if a man's sperm count is low based on certain things, sometimes men can't have kids. But I think that that's a woman can say that as well. Sometimes women date men with children.
Yeah.
Men are more likely to have more different baby mamas than women are because y'all can do it. Y'all can have.
That's not.
Y'all can have 3 1-year-olds.
20% of the men is getting most of the women pregnant. It's like more baby mamas than men. That's not how that work. Like women fuck with the same kind of guys all the time. You get what I'm saying?
Where is this written at? I need the statistics. But
I mean, as far as like when
I
you
feel like
like
it's
with
the
men that you know, like most of the guys out, they not having kids. Like they always, or if I do, the guy who do have the kids, he had like multiple kids by
Yeah.
different women.
right. So a woman has to settle for that. Think about that. No woman, no woman wants to be with a guy. Man, I got like, you know what I'm saying? I got like 10 baby mamas for real though.
I know women don't
I got
want
3 1-year-olds. I got 2 8-year-olds. No, that's a frown. So I think this nobody wants to come into a relationship where there's already a relationship established, because the way you look at it, okay, I want to have my own kids with this person, and I don't want to, and I understand that. So I get that from that standpoint, but I don't feel like that's a settlement, because if I love you, and your children are a reflection of you, I should love your children, and I think that should be vice versa.
I'm saying that's settling. That's not what you
I
want.
think
That's
an opinion.
that's what I'm saying. You saying what you want, and that's what men want. Men don't want nobody with kids. It's like you settle for that and you will deal with it.
And
But that's
women
not
don't
something you want.
And women don't want men with a whole bunch of baby mamas.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that.
So there's different avenues. I think that's not the only to say like men only settle for that. I think that there are things that the 80-20 rule, right? There are always going to be things that you could say everybody wants something. Everybody has an idea of what they want their person to be. Whether a woman has a list, because that's how we do, we check off lists, or man just say a big, I want this. It's certain things that y'all want in a woman. There's nothing wrong with saying, I know what we want. When you go to the restaurant and you order a meal and it's a buffet, you know what I mean? You got a plethora of food. You know what you want. You know what you want to eat. You know what you don't want to eat. There's nothing wrong with that. You're gonna eat if you don't like hot stuff, you're not about to get the spicy stuff.
I think more women settle than men do.
Y'all have a lot of requirements though than we do.
But I mean, I feel that, but
We don't get them all, and that's why we settle.
yeah, like I think, like how you saying like men will just settle for, because that's what you saying that y'all have less requirements, therefore y'all settle more. But I don't think so, because that's why y'all be cheating. If you really was settling is being like, all right, well, regardless of what's going on, I'm gonna still be with this person wholeheartedly no matter what.
Cheating is like ain't nothing better than pussy but new pussy. It ain't, sometimes it ain't got nothing to do with that. You just want new pussy. It's just not what somebody did.
But it's that
shortcomings.
It's that new pussy that was different than the one that you had. You know what I'm saying? So like, I really wanted this girl who looked like this and this and this, but mine don't have those two things.
She
So
could look exactly like your girl. It's just new pussy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
so it's just a vagina.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a shortcoming or something. She look different. It could be exactly like your girl, but it's just like it's new.
But that's still not settling then, because it's still, I'm not locking in with this person. Like females, we gonna lock in with you. That's why y'all be like, we emotional. We gonna lock in with you, wanna stay loyal to you, not
Women
do nothing.
cheat like a motherfucker, kid. Come on.
Not somebody who really, no. I feel like women, I don't know. I just have not experienced.
I'm telling you, women be cheating. I had a girl cry. I took her and her kids in. She on the phone crying. He took me and my kids in. She's like, she's so grateful. She was cheating. Even if she feel like she ain't never met nobody who done the shit I done, but she still like, if I said some shit she ain't like now, I'm gonna go fuck with somebody else. So
then it's just given, we can't speak on nobody as a whole anyway. We can't generalize the situation because it depends on the environment and group of people you're around. But from my perspective, I feel like men, like y'all don't settle because y'all go for everything, like you said.
no, that's not true because you got somebody who don't do that, so you know that's not true.
That's rare. He is unlike any other man that I've ever met in my life. So,
You know what I'm saying?
man, you just said that y'all just go for pussy.
I'm saying as far as like cheating, like,
Which means if you with somebody, you not settling for nothing because you probably gonna cheat if you see a new piece of meat.
it depends. It just depends.
But it's a high likelihood. She like, I'm just here. I'm cracking up.
Okay, so what's a rude reaction you had when you were hurt by someone you love?
What's a reaction I've had?
A rude reaction.
A rude reaction that I had?
Yeah.
Besides crying? I don't know, my first inclination is
That
to
is
cry.
rude. Why is you crying?
I mean, usually if when someone does me wrong, is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I cry.
What you a Pisces?
No, I'm an Aries. What
Oh,
is
she
it?
is
But
too.
my heart is a Pisces. My Venus is a Pisces. So I'm not really one sign. You know what I mean? I'm a conglomerate of signs. My rising is Virgo. My sun is Aries. My moon is Libra. And my heart is Pisces. So I love like a Pisces through and through. Like, if I'm loving you and you hurt my feelings, I'm just gonna cry. Like, I'm just gonna cry. And then I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna say this to him. Because if I love you, I still don't want to hurt you. Like, it's somebody, okay. It's somebody that I don't even know if I should say this on camera, but they already know. And everybody already know. But it's somebody that I really, truly am like deep, like agape love for this human being. For real. And this person hurt my feelings to my core. And I told him, like, you hurt my feelings to my core. And
What'd he do?
we stopped talking for a year over a misunderstanding.
What's the misunderstanding?
I'm not gonna go into the misunderstanding.
Okay.
I'm gonna respect him and not go into the misunderstanding. Because I got so much respect for this individual. So, we had a misunderstanding and we stopped talking for a year. And I was just like, yeah, you hurt me. Like, you know what I mean? What did I do? Did I do anything? I think the most I probably did was, no, I didn't even block him. I didn't even follow. I ended up, we don't follow each other now, but not because of when he hurt me. But I think the main thing I probably do is like change his name in my phone to a different name.
Bitch ass name or something?
No.
His real
I'm
name.
telling you, I literally love this individual like I have never loved anybody in my whole entire life. And so I don't have any malice towards him. Like, even when he hurts me, I can't even be like, bitch ass nigga, because he not.
Y'all was together though?
No. We weren't together, but
So you wanted somebody who didn't want you, basically?
no, it was just complicated. Like,
What was so complicated?
it's just that I think at the time he was coming out of a relationship and I was coming out of a relationship, and we both should have healed first before we pursued each other. So we had a lot of fears, and we let our fear interfere between a connection. You know what I mean? Like, when you just come out of a relationship, like he was coming out of a marriage and I was coming out of a relationship. So him coming out of marriage, I'm coming out of a relationship, having these ideologies about relationship. In order for us to move, we had all these stipulations and these rules, making sure we didn't hurt each other, but eventually we end up hurting each other. Does that make sense? Kind of, sort of. Like it's like we kept on. We both had our guards up. You know what I mean? But as natural and as beautiful as it was when we were together, we just was like, oh, I know I was. I think more so. I overthought a lot of stuff, and he was overthinking stuff too. You know what I mean?
Why are y'all just cool though? Like,
because love is complicated.
no, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Love is easy. It's not complicated. It's peaceful.
It's easy when you have love, but it's not easy when you have fear. So when you have, and you're right, love is easy, but when you've been in past relationships that didn't work out, you kind of, like I said, if you don't heal from your past, you're bleeding into your future. And so we made it. I guess we probably made it hard when it should have been hard. You know what I mean? You're 100% right. We made it hard when it shouldn't have been hard, and
I feel it's not hard when that's what you want, but if y'all not wanting it.
yeah. What's those shows where you have these guys and this woman, and it's like everybody on the TV show wants them to be together, and they want to be together, but they just can't get together? Have you ever seen a TV show like that? That's us. Like, they almost back together. It
might be a sign. It might be
we need time.
spirit telling you to get the fuck on.
Probably.
Yeah. But it's what you want though.
But I mean, it's what I want. But I'm not. It's what I want, but not to the point where I'm willing to just jeopardize and just hold my breath for this individual. If it happens, it's gonna happen organically. And we started talking back again organically. So I think the time we took, and I even told him that the time we took not speaking to each other, we needed that time. You know what I mean? We needed that time. You don't rush forever.
So you don't rush.
Forever.
What's that? I'm like.
You don't rush forever, like to be together forever. You don't rush to get to forever.
Yeah.
Let love take its time. Let it take its course.
It's brewing. It's a nice special sip of tea, so it has to take a little bit longer to brew. I talk metaphorically. I'm a poet, so you know when you're making tea, when you put the hot water in there, and you put the tea bag in there, and then if you put the tea bag in there and just take the tea bag out right away, it's not gonna have as much flavor. But when you put the tea bag in there, let it steep and let it brew and let all the flavor starts to come out, and you get the great taste it's supposed to be, and that's what's happening.
But that's gonna come natural. It's gonna flow. That's not difficult.
It was difficult. Everybody's journey is different.
But that's what she's saying about now. It's like they just let.
Yeah, it's natural now. Like it was natural, but I feel like we were afraid. And I'm not saying that the fear was natural, but we were afraid. I was afraid. You know what I mean? Like this is this person that I meet, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this person, we're so compatible on so many different levels. It's spooky. And then you're like, wait a minute. You start talking, you start that self-doubt, you know that, and you're like, this ain't
what's wrong with
and then
him?
you start telling your friends and family members, and they, girl, you gotta do this, and da-da-da, and then whatever. I can't speak for him, because I'm not him. You know what I mean? But that happened away. And we recently, from the year, we talked about it. We had that conversation. We're still not, together on the same accord, but it's, even just being his friend is like,
Y'all just hooking up.
we're not even doing it.
So y'all never did nothing?
I'm crying.
Or y'all just meditating together?
Yeah,
Okay.
deep meditation.
We'll go
Oh.
Hey,
Yo. Deep meditation. She's a nut.
I guess with y'all, like, would y'all rather be with somebody compatible or like somebody opposite, but y'all kind of like
That's a
match?
good question.
You get what I'm saying?
I think
They both
opposite would
compatible.
match. Yeah.
You
Opposite
think
attract.
somebody similar to me or somebody?
Basically, like if you a writer, he a writer. He you get what I'm saying? But you get what I'm saying? Like somebody who might be like a truck driver and somebody might be corporate, like
Yeah.
but
I
they
think
match.
I think you'd be different.
Yeah.
Be
I like
different,
that. I
but
like the
okay.
difference, but yeah, I like the difference but match. I mean, I like the twin thing too.
As long as the vibe there.
Yeah.
If the vibe right, it's
It don't
like,
matter.
be with me.
Yeah.
Be mine.
Be mine. Period. That part.
Okay, a liar who thought you was dumb and a ridiculous lie they told you.
That's a good one. A liar that thought I was dumb and a ridiculous lie they told me. Well, I had one gentleman, I was doing a comedy show, and he was selling tickets for me, and he tried to lie to me about the ticket sales. Like, I didn't know that he pretty much played me on some money. Yeah, and the relationship was done. I didn't work the person anymore.
Yeah, I gotta bring this up too. Like somebody hit me up about about ugly money, and they saying they got like $17,000 out of them. He's saying they homeless and they want to do an interview. So that's I mean, so they want to basically they in Connecticut, but they want to do an interview on the show. So I'm gonna set it up. It's probably gonna be on YouTube or something. But like, so that's the only time you ever got like taken advantage of, like.
I'm quite sure it happens a lot. I mean, y'all trying to take me to a place. I gotta think, cause like I said, I really focus on staying in the positive and being in the present moment. So me thinking about stuff like that, I have reprogrammed my mind not to be in a victim mentality. So it's not like it probably hasn't happened. It's just like, honestly, anything I do so hard, like, do I feel like I've been like, no, it's gonna come back. Like, I don't know. I can say that event, but even with that situation, it's like, it is what it is. Like, I don't know. It probably has happened a lot more than I probably like to think about it. But, I mean, you know what the law say.
What's it say?
Karma real. That ain't for me to even worry about. Just keep on moving how I'm moving. Or what the Bible say, revenge is mine, said the law, or the Lord. However you want to say it.
Well, you give me something from the Bible, okay? A good scripture. You know anything?
I don't know, like about what?
Love. What is it got anything about love in there?
I mean,
Love is patient. Love is kind.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have nothing off the top of my head. I got favorite stories and stuff in the Bible or people. Like, I like Abraham a lot. He do, for sure. Because he was talking back to God. But it was like, it was given. I would have did that for sure. Not in a bad way, but
That's a good book.
he was like trying to look out for the people. Like, look, like, chill, don't. Because God go ham. Like, when you really read the Bible, it's like, that's why people be thanking Jesus, because God will go ham for real. God don't play.
Okay, can you really be friends with somebody who don't like want the truth or won't accept the truth all the time?
No, I can't. That's fake. No, please get out of my face. First of all, I'm a truth teller. I can't do nothing but give you the truth, and if you can't handle the truth, we're not gonna be able to. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work because your feelings gonna get hurt all the time.
I know how to be quiet. I've learned that. I don't think I could be true friends with you, but like my man has friends who don't necessarily care for the truth. And so I tell them, I'm like, if y'all don't like me talking, let me know. I can be quiet. So I know how to be quiet, and you know, we can talk about cupcakes and
Let's talk about surface level stuff.
Yeah,
about to go and get deep with you. Everybody got an opinion and whatever and things and
Okay, is it a truth you told somebody and they got the fuck away from you?
Yeah, I lost a friend like that.
Have I lost anybody from telling the truth? Dang, I don't know. Y'all let me know.
I'm cracking
I
up.
don't think I have.
Yeah,
I don't think I lost anybody for telling the truth.
Mine was something simple, like we was cool, and then my co-host, I was like, you should have beat that nigga up. And he got like in a rage, but he didn't have the energy when the guy confronted him, like called him out his name, but he turned up on me, like I was like, what the hell?
I think more so like for me, like where I stand in spirituality and stuff, you know, I think people kind of shy away or maybe not avoid certain conversations because like, oh, she about to go there again. You know, even when we talk about the Bible, like I said, I reference the Bible because that's my foundation. I do understand that the Bible was used as a tool to manipulate. You know, I understand there are certain books of the Bible that are missing. But I understand, I feel like I still feel like it has a purpose. I'm not to the point where it's like, okay, throw the whole thing away. You know, because there's some amazing allegories and stories and parables and everything in that thing. But I think that's more about, people kind of stay away from me. They'd be like, oh Lord, she about to come hit us with the...
We've been watching that.
Is it an ant?
Yeah,
That's a big, weird looking ant.
that is a weird looking ant.
He came over here, prayed, y'all. We started talking about, he came right over here, sat on this table.
It looked like a fire ant mixed with a black ant. She looked like she pregnant or something. They breathe.
Okay, what's,
I-
oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I told my friend, I know when you happy because I don't hear from you.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's interesting. A lot of female friends, they want to vent to you about the negative stuff, but never want to talk to you about the positive stuff. So I think that's true. It's like my best friend, she passed away in 2008, and I think that's the difference. Like she used to always vent to me about she married my cousin, and I'm like, don't just call me when y'all having bad times, because when y'all good, I don't hear from you. Maybe she rest in peace, you know. But yeah, so it's like, yeah, I don't want to hear that. And my thing is, I don't want to keep hearing the same thing over and over again. Like, you just told me this last week. Like, and this is what I tell my friends. I said, I'm going to give you one time to vent. You got one time to vent. After that, we either going to talk about a solution,
or I don't want to hear it.
or I don't want to hear it.
And I wasn't even playing around like it was not wrong. I was just like, no, I can tell you I've been happy because I ain't heard from you. And she was like, what you mean? I was like, I don't hear from you when y'all are happy. And like, it turned, like, I don't know, like, I didn't think I said nothing wrong, but she didn't like play it out right then and there. But then I ain't hear from her no more, and then I think I got like a long text message of, you know, what's wrong with me and all that. I'm like, okay, I was
too real,
happy
honey.
for you.
I told my sister something like that, like when she was broke and fucked up, and I was like, the only time you call me is when you want something. And she started laughing, like kind of smiling and all. And I was like, ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's cool that that's the relationship. I mean, I'm gonna help you every time you call, but I mean, you don't have to act like you trying to
Be
see
cool
how I'm
with me.
doing. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? If you need something, just ask.
Don't
Like,
fake the fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Brianna
I'll
like
give it
that.
to you.
She be like, bro, just tell me what you want.
okay, a kind-hearted person you took for granted.
I think, you know, I have to be real. There's been a few kind-hearted people that I took for granted.
The date guys.
It was a gentleman that I dated after my divorce. I feel like I took him for granted a little bit at first. Yeah.
You wasn't healed yet.
Nope.
So why did you tell him that?
Yeah. Every second I got, I told him to be patient with me. You know, and he ain't had that much patience. He was like, "Look, girl, it had been about a year and a half. You still need time." But we eventually kind of end up just growing, you know, going our separate ways. I adore this individual though. Like, he's a good person. Like, and honestly, that was somebody who was like hardworking man, hardworking man. You know, work 2 jobs just to work 2 jobs, and you know, I would say I probably made more money than him, but he knew how to handle money better than me. You know what I mean? And yeah, this was a sweetheart. Like, genuinely just a good, sweet, like, literally would, like, I remember, like, carry me out the car. Like, I don't want your feet to touch the ground. Feed me pecans and grapes. Like,
But he didn't get you. That's how it be.
he's happy though. He's in a relationship.
That's what's up.
I'm happy for him.
I guess can't do your thing with him.
What's something we haven't asked you that our audience should know about you?
That's a good question. I think you guys should just know that,
Everything. What you do, where to find you, what you got
yeah,
going on.
so boom, yep, that part. So I'm a poet. I have an album called Thursday Effect out. I am doing that. So I'm a spiritual life coach. So if you guys need spiritual life coaching as far as mind, body, and spirit, learn how to meditate, do yoga, eat right, live right, talk right, be right, don't be fake, all that stuff, issues, all your thoughts in your head, depressed, I can help you out. But yeah, that's what's going on. Yeah, always look on for me on Instagram at Thursdays_Angel for different showcases I'll be doing, workshops, and things of that nature. I'll be in LA on the 19th. So my LA people, you know, hit me up. You already know what time it is. But yeah, I just wanted you guys to know that, you know, this is a real sister with real hopes, real dreams, real passion. This is a true artist at heart. So, and you know, if you ain't seen me, you gonna see me everywhere.
That's right.
So that part.
Okay, real quick, what's 2 things you might be procrastinating about that you haven't done yet?
Ooh, honey, writing this poetry book. I have a poetry album, but I need to get this book out, and I have so much poetry. It's already written. That's the crazy thing. Oh, nonprofit poetic movement. So my nonprofit is Poetic Movement. My vision is to change the world through art, one person at a time. So last year I was able to do a creative writing class for the youth in my hometown of East Cleveland, Ohio. I had kids from 4th grade all the way to 7th grade, and we wrote, and we were talking about everything from suicide to sexuality. I mean, it got deep. So I want to do that this fall. I'm getting some fundraisers, looking for some grants for that. So if you guys can help out with that, that's important, because giving back to the youth, like as an artist, because the art has saved my life, is my job, my duty to give back to the youth and save other children's life. You know what I mean? On so many accords. And so, yeah.
Would you ever consider being a minister?
My last name is Nagali, which means preacher. So I've been taught that a few times, but not in the way. I'm a teacher. Yeah, I am blessed with the gift to teach and talk, but I don't think in the arena of like Christianity. You know?
No, I'm saying you would do that, but you still have a church, and it'll be the art, all these programs that you would be able to do. Like, would you do it then?
Under a church guy? Under church?
Yeah.
Well, ministry doesn't gotta have to be a church.
Okay.
A ministry is just set up in the
Ministry.
basis of Christianity.
Oh, no. I think what I do already is ministry, like as far as what I teach creative dance, you know what I mean? I teach creative writing. I teach how to cope with that. I have groups where girls just get around. We talk about love, right? We talk about loving yourself before you go out there and love the world. So I've been doing that with in the city with like teenagers from 14 to 19-year-old girls. When we sit around, we talk about stuff like that. So I feel like I'm already
A minister,
yeah, everywhere I go. Everywhere I don't wait. If I feel like a word, this the other day, I was out, this was yesterday. It was a girl outside. My friend wanted me to come wash them shampoo. That's either here nor there. The girl outside crying on the phone with a guy like, I want to see you. Every time I see you, you don't pay me any attention. I said, stop. You know, and I spoke like to her, and I was beating on her chest because she was hyperventilating. She was literally having a panic attack. I was just like, breathe. I'm like, breathe. And after that, she was like, okay, thank you. That was ministry right there. You know what I mean? I don't wait, but like, I gotta be right, proper at a pulpit, whatever. No. I go out when I feel like there's a need for somebody to get the word that's been bestowed upon me in that moment. I just have to speak fluently. And so I'm so grateful for that. So yeah, I mean, I guess the answer is yes, all the time, everywhere, anytime, any place.
Do you try to document it? Like, if you have an experience, like, just do like a quick video?
Certain things ain't for the world to see.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that, you know, we need certain things to help us live, right? But a lot of stuff I do is not for the world to see. It's not to get praise or validation for anybody else. I share those. I mean, I have numerous amount of things that since I've been here, I can tell you guys so many different things I've done. And I'm not to brag, but like they are like very historical. Like, wow, you just did that. Like you just literally jumped out of your car while people got pushed. It was an accident, and I jumped out of my car. Man's brains is halfway out of his head. I grabbed a towel, held it to his head. The woman, she looked one around looking crazy. They want her later. I'm like, just sit up. She blood gushing everywhere. I make sure they're good. I speak life into them. The cops come. I tell them what happened. I get in my car. I keep moving. That's one event. You know what I mean? It's not for me to be like, oh, hey, everybody.
Yeah.
I want to check. Or I want everybody to see what I'm doing. No. It ain't about that. It ain't about that. It's just, like you said, everyone to be crying, man. I'm so grateful that I'm put here in this position to have the awareness of what I'm supposed to do. I have the awareness of my purpose to move, and it happens effortlessly. And because of that, I have been blessed. I have been gifted with so many different gifts of the physical and the non-physical. I'm so grateful. I sit here humbly grateful. I've been humbled, but I'm grateful.
I'm saying it's
I'm
not
rich
necessarily
and
brand. It can inspire people.
It can inspire people.
to
And I guess
do
I'm so grateful to have a platform like this allow me to talk about it, because I feel like I do it, and at the moment I'm not like camera ready. You know what I mean? But I do it, and it is in my memory. It's in my memory, and so when I have a platform like this where I can talk about it and be regurgitated, if there is a moment where it needs to be seen, it'll be seen. If somebody want to record it, but it's not gonna be by my hand, because I don't feel like it's as organic. If I'm like, I'm just literally, it's not even, it's intuitively like a superhero. And said on some like it be on some superhero stuff, like my reaction, it'll be something happen, like it was like a baby like before, and I'm like, I'll grab the baby. And people are like, oh, and I'm just like, let me go and keep doing what I'm doing. I don't even think about it. I'm like, boom, boom, let me hurry up and grab this, let me fix it. My instincts kick in, and I'm just like, Spidey says, boom, 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 keep moving.
That's what's up. Guess we gonna wrap it up. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you guys for having me.
And literally, it's no pressure,
No
man.
pressure.
We gonna see y'all next week, and we out. All right, we gonna pose like 5 seconds for the picture.
Let me get close.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me. It was amazing.